Hello, everyone. Schoolhouse Intuitive. Thank you so much for being here. I'm here for the Libra Collective, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, any placement of Libra. Everyone's welcome. This is a career and money, fortune reading. All right. This is about your money, your wealth, prosperity, what kind of opportunities are coming your way. Is your luck changing? Like all the stuff, right? How can we be more successful? So let's go ahead and get started. I'll use tarot cards, oracle cards, and I'll share channeled messages as I receive them. I'll use these tarot tokens first. And your first token out is the Hermit. So these are all major arcana tokens. So we have the Hermit out, Virgo energy. Maybe you're on that Libra Virgo cusp. All right. So the Hermit, sometimes you need to just pull away from all the noise and listen for that inner truth, that inner guidance. What else do we have? So solitude, careers involving solitude, could actually really be something you're looking into. You also have the Fool. And when I pulled this, it said 111 on the timer. So manifestation, maybe you're attracting and manifesting that new start that you're looking for. What else do we have? One more, please. How about the Hanged Man? We seem to get this a lot lately, and it does go nicely with the Hermit. They kind of complement each other well. And I think one of the messages when I see these two together in a reading to start out like this, it feels like sometimes I think maybe the Hermit could be a little maybe set in their ways, right? Maybe a little more of like just a an old wise one kind of energy, and like they have a certain way they do things, and like their truth does not change. But I feel like with this Hanged Man, there's a little bit of like, hey, maybe even despite your wisdom, despite having gone through some things, despite all your knowledge, there is still room for a new perspective. So it's this nice balance as you have this new beginning with this Fool here, of being optimistic that things they don't have to be so rigid, maybe, and they shouldn't be. They shouldn't either be too rigid, nor do you feel like you want that for some of you. Okay, that's what it feels like. It feels like some of you are being a little more flexible to how this new beginning comes in, how this opportunity comes in. So let's go ahead and just get more cards, obviously. Let's start out with the Divine Compass Oracle deck. Decks I use are down below. So for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, it is important to have your feet, solidly planted, metaphorically, as you make this big decision, which could really involve a change of direction. But perspective is going to matter. It's important to have the hope, the optimism of this Fool character, right? Let's see what else we have. Making room, though, to quiet the noise. You have two cards of that, or tokens. Right. What else do we have? Give us some direction, please. We have Emerging Dawn. This is enjoying the journey. There's some kind of egg here, something taking shape, taking form. It says, trust every ending is another beginning coming in disguise. Wise counsel, getting advice. Yeah, even though you yourself may be the Hermit in a certain situation, that wise one, as I said, there's still room to seek guidance, get advice. All right. You don't have to do everything alone necessarily. And that's not advised for some projects too, or for some changes you're about to make. So seeking guidance from trusted friends or mentors to help you along. That would take an element of trust, though, right? We would have to trust ourselves, others, and the universe. So we have worthy goal. So fresh ideas coming in. And this is getting out and being inspired to keep working toward your life's purpose. That's fresh ideas. What I find super interesting, and maybe you already picked up on this, Emerging Dawn is what's like kind of clarifying that Fool, right? And that is about enjoying the journey. That's what the Fool does. They enjoy the journey. A lot of positive energy there. and a lot of trust, right? And that's what's on this card. So you have this emerging dawn and trusting the journey. And then clarifying the Hermit, you have wise counsel. And sometimes those answers are not always all within, right? But if it's a balance, it's going to need to be a balance. So as I had mentioned and picked up on the Hermit, and I don't normally pick up on this, but this is coming in this particular reading, that sometimes that Hermit can be a little withdrawn, antisocial, again, like kind of set in their ways. And this is not the advice it looks like so far. Yes, you may need to get alone for some of the reflection and planning. And there's nothing wrong with wanting structure and all that. But there is this needing to be open to, what is this? What's clarifying this Hanged One? Fresh ideas, a worthy goal, right? Something is worth it. So getting out and being inspired and working toward your life's purpose. Libra, this has been kind of a theme lately. I did foresee this coming in as far as what May would bring us when I looked into May 2026. So I have done your May monthly reading, by the way. By the way, happy Cinco de Mayo, happy National Teachers Day also. And it's 5-5, so this is good for changes. 5 being a number of freedom, loving, freedom loving kind of energy, being progressive minded, I guess, in your thinking, perception, right? Being resourceful, having quick thinking, okay? Good communication. I feel like those are all things associated with the number 5, but let's go ahead and get 55 out of our angel numbers just so that you can have the visual as well. So we have 555, which is a sign of transformation. You can expect the unexpected. And then we have a sign of positive change. So things are shifting into a positive light. So here are some numbers connecting us to today's date, 5-5. All right, let's get into the tarot now. We will use the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot by Julia Massaglia. All right. Whoa, one fell in my lap, but I want it to be on camera. Let's see, especially for our first card. All right, Libra. What do we have? Okay, well, we have the Queen of Pentacles. That is a fabulous, fabulous way. See if we can get some of that gold to show here. Ooh, flashy. This is the Queen of Pentacles, and she's somebody who is very, remember I said we need to have, be kind of grounded in our stance as we have this new start, and as we maybe reprioritize things, reorganize things. This is really good. The Queen of Pentacles is really good at gathering her resources, getting the knowledge she needs, getting ready for the opportunities. This is a very someone who's very practical, someone who is very lucky, right? This is someone who is welcoming in those new opportunities. They make good investments, right? Very good investments. This is who you want if you're trying to make a change regarding career, money, investing your time, investing your health even, right? So let's see, your energy. Okay, that's who you want backing you up energetically. What else? Who else do we have? We have the Two of Wands. Some of you maybe, as you're planning and getting that wise counselor going within here, getting advice, that could be part of that whole Two of Wands process for you. Getting ready for that next step. Making decisions, right? Planning the new direction. What else do we have, please, for Libra? We have the Two of Swords. So now you have 22. And turning that back to all the noise, going within, trusting that third eye to make a decision that is best suited for you. What's best for you, Libra? There's something here about steady progress too, I feel. All right, so then you have the Lovers. Okay, so we have the Lovers coming in, and what is truly in alignment with you, Libra? It's time to make that choice. You now have 3 cards of making a choice. Okay, you have the Hermit. I'm sorry, you have the Lovers. You have The Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. They're all about making a decision loosely. They have much deeper meaning than that. But one thing they do all have in common is stepping up to the plate and making a decision that's best suited for you. Not one that you're forced into, right? Not one that's based on a foundation of conflict, fear. No. That would be more devilish. This is lovers, right? Holding yourself in high regard, entering into unions, partnerships that are harmonious, that feel right. We have the Seven of Wands. I feel like this is actually where a lot of you are coming from right now, a place where maybe you've had to deal with people who are not willing to budge, they're not willing to compromise, but then I feel like you've had to take a stand. Or maybe this is the advice that you may be feeling overwhelmed, you may be feeling like giving up, but you're being called to persevere. As I often say, you didn't come this far to only come this far. So keep in it. Stay in it. What else do we have? Keep at it. You might have to tweak how things happen or be a little more flexible in some way. I know a lot of you have already haven't been having to do that. You might be sick of it, but what are the alternatives? You know, if something's really worth it and you're just really, really passionate about it, I say give it your all. But that's just me. You always do what you want, right? You have free will, final say. Your intuition knows best. I'm not here to offer legal, financial advice, mental health, none of that, right? This is tarot. I'm reading the energy of the cards. You actually are the one who is in the driver's seat of your life. Page of Cups. I think some of you are going to be able to get that inspiration here, but it's like there's something here about almost something blocking your creativity. You may have received a message or even just a vibe that, you know, kind of threw you, you know, or just a message that was less than inspirational, something that I almost get like something kind of triggering in some way. So it kind of feels like taking a step back and giving yourself again that room to quiet the noise, not get swept away by any sort of emotions, drama going on around you, could really do a lot as far as cleaning the slate, clearing the air, so that you can have so that you're more capable or able to follow your dreams and even allow those new ideas and creations and, you know, creative ideas and things to flow again. It does feel like there was some sort of heaviness or resistance, though, that wasn't allowing that. There wasn't room for it. But let me see. Let's see. Let's get the magic of letting go here. See what that is all about. Possibly this could be, we'll get a couple of these. Seeking approval. Yeah, this is about trusting yourself. Trust yourself here. This is relying on your own inner wisdom for validation. But again, I really strongly believe there needs to be that balance, though. Okay. Not just it's, you only really need to impress yourself, right? Or you need to be able to face yourself at the end of the day, right? But I know sometimes we have to impress others in order to like get opportunities, get a job, etc. But number one should always be you, right? Relying on your inner wisdom for validation. Yes. But I feel, like I said, strongly that with these three here like this, and then the cards that followed with oracle cards, I think it would make total sense to get some outside guidance for certain aspects of what it is you're trying to create or achieve. And maybe that's what I'm picking up on. Maybe that's what the cards are trying to say, that you're already doing that. But you're only going to, like, your opinion counts twice, right? Compared to anybody else's, right? What you believe and what you feel, your intuition even, is what's really, it's going to top whatever. If there's a tie, your intuition wins. That's how I look at it anyway. That's what I feel, but that's me. So trust in your abilities. Yeah, banish doubt. Trust in your own abilities. So don't let doubt define you. Action will dispel the fear. So some of us, we just need to get going. Others of us, you need some time and space to vent. I think there's a lot of kind of just sort of, maybe you've had to take on things. There could be built up resentment, or even that being directed at you, envy and things like that. Unfortunately, I do see that here. And so it feels as though you've had to be guarded, and you may actually be needing to create some better boundaries. You know, ultimately, Libra, the choice is yours here with something. Okay, we have the Star card. All right, so we have the Star. I need to take time with my markers and draw on this so that's not so weird looking. But anyway, with the Star, especially with this, you know, that's what's clarifying the Fool and the emerging dawn, enjoying the journey. I mean, you can see that that this person's in their element. You know, they're really tapped in, tuned in. They're aware of how far they've come, and only you really know your full story, every step, right? And all that you've had to overcome. And this, I feel this character is like really in touch with that. And there's also this element of just finding your bliss, finding what you're happy is. What is your happy? What is your happy? And are you making enough time for it? Because I feel like a lot of you maybe have been focused on loss in some way, feeling disappointment, and rightly so. There's a lot of things going on right now, but it feels like instead of focusing on the emptiness, how can we shift this energy? You know, if there is more that needs to be sort of cleared out, is it your physical space that needs to change? Is it mental clutter? You know, what is it for you? Is it that you need to just simply get moving? You know, need to take an action step, or is it that you need more physical movement? It could be, it's going to vary for a lot of you. All right, or for each of you, really. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands, and I like this because it's clarifying the Two of Wands, right? So this is actually looking ahead and expanding, right? Knowing that opportunity is right there, and you can see they're actually taking a step. It looks like in this particular card, taking that step after the planning, after a nice foundation has been built, after you've aligned yourself with what it is that you know is going to make you feel more fertile in some sense, you know, more able to create. We have a lot of artists out there. I just got the name Dawn, or even something like Desiree, maybe. All right. I heard, when I say God, I heard it clairaudiently that time. All right. And you also have the Four of Pentacles. There's something here about like holding on too tightly, keeping something close to the chest, right? Literally, that's what they're doing. But there's kind of like this, like, you know, letting go of any sort of fear of, or you know, any sort of scarcity mindset, right? Any sort of greediness in some way too, like maybe you wanting to separate yourself from that. This is about being more open. Okay, maybe you're deciding you're going to be more open. Some of you, it's the opposite. You've decided you've been a little too open, and yeah, you're taking control here. You're not allowing yourself to be emotionally manipulated in any way. That's the King of Cups. So I was getting that as a clarifier for the Four of Pentacles. We are going to go into if there are any sort of particular blocks as well. Okay, I'll also pull angel messages, animal cards. I always do that. And of course, we'll get general advice from Spirit that you can choose to take or leave. And I'll pull cards specific to those of you who are entrepreneurs. Get a little bit of practical advice. And we have the Death card transformation here. So you can see they're all responding differently to this upcoming change. You could be in a group where, you know, everybody is responding differently. I find it interesting that you have the Star, Death transformation, and the Lovers all clumped together. So it feels like in one area of your life, there's a big transformation taking place. And it feels kind of like, because you're coming at it with more of a positive outlook too. There's something here about your perception has changed. And I'm hearing that you've willed something into existence. Determination has been your friend. Look at that. Look where it's going to get you. You have the glorious sun here. The sun coming in, shining. And you have the Ace of Wands. Hello. So there's this vitality restored, hope restored, prosperity, opportunity comes in, but it's being stressed that you must do something. I'm getting the month of August for some of you coming in. We have on the table, as far as astrological signs, we have Virgo, we have a little of everything here, but major arcana wise, Virgo, we have Leo, we have Scorpio, Gemini, and Aquarius. Libra, Libra. What else for Libra, please? After, it's amazing because after that death card, that's when the sun really will start to shine on you. But it's like knowing you can trust, that's taking that leap of faith, right? Like with the Fool, it's like, clearing, detaching from what might be like known to you and feel safe, but it's uncomfortable, or you wouldn't be looking elsewhere. So do you really want to stay in something that's not exactly what you want for fear of not having something better? Like, you can do better here, according to this reading. It's like, Libra, you can do better than this. You're worth more than what you've been given credit for. What else? We have the Eight of Pentacles. Look how hard they're working. Could be you, that you've had to work so hard, for every little thing. Like, nothing has come easy, possibly. But at the same time, there's this element, I feel, of like, well, I wouldn't have had it any other way. It wouldn't be me without all that. So there's that. And also, keeping, setting your sights high, not settling, like knowing your worth. Yeah. And knowing that there's, look at the castle in the background. It's like you take, and I love that it has the rays, and that's what's following sun. The name Ray could mean something. Didn't I just say Desiree? I think I did. So anything like that, or Renee, something like that. I'm getting Mona, even maybe Lisa. Mona Lisa now. But yeah, I'm getting names like that coming in. I just heard Elliot. I heard Elliot like loud and clear. So that's interesting. And so, yeah, it's kind of like, that's when things are really going to get started, when you have a little more fun too. There's something about, again, that perspective needing to shift. Let me actually get some, let's see what could be possibly in the way. Anything else like blocking Libra, specifically tied to money, career, fortune, abundance, opportunities, wealth, prosperity. What else, please, for Libra in this career and fortune money reading? We have throat chakra, so some of you need to speak up. So blocked throat chakra. So this is, chakra could be blocked, affecting your communication and your self-expression. So in order to heal your throat chakra, to help with communication and self-expression, you could use crystals, you could find time to journal, cultivate the capacity to listen to yourself. Even if you can't say it to an actual person, saying it out loud helps attach that vibration and makes it even stronger. So lack of specificity, possibly for some of you. A lot of the times when I see the Lover's card and even the Ace of Wands, like together in a reading like this, with some of the sort of deciding cards, right? Like making a decision, which you had a lot of, it does make me feel like you need to get very clear. Maybe you haven't been as clear as you would like to be. But it could be you feeling you're getting mixed signals from the universe. Like maybe you're putting it out there, I need a sign, and then you get signs, but then you're like, wait, did I misinterpret that? That's not how it played out. So there's, just, it can be tough to know, what's truly a sign versus, if we're reaching for a sign, or, like, did we make it happen, or was that really like an intuitive hit, so it just practice over time really is what helps with that. So having set very vague goals that could be hard to visualize and hard to attain. So for example, saying something when you're manifesting, like, I want, the perfect job, or I want a high paying job. Well, then maybe you get a high paying job, but you're super unhappy. It's very stressful. You have no work-life balance. Well, maybe next time, consider getting very specific, like as in your manifestations or your overall plan. The word manifestation is very overused, I feel, but in the spiritual community. But it's like, give your mind time to process what's coming in, and there's no rush to having to get it out there just to get it out there. Be very be very, what's the word I want to use? Intentional. Yeah, be very intentional about what you're trying to create and what you're planning. Be as specific as you can possibly be. Yes, I know we want to also leave room for letting the universe deliver it how it's best for us. So I always add, if it's for my greatest, highest good, or for the greatest, highest good of those involved, So kind of adding that little rider at the end of your manifestations could help. But yeah, just making sure you have very clear intentions in order for this manifestation to work. So becoming a conscious creator of your life, it does take practice, but it also takes specificity and a willingness to communicate it, even if it's just to the universe. I say just to the universe, but the universe is often what delivers, right? So yeah, just thinking about that. Let's see what else we have. So we want to be very specific in what we're asking for. Let's see what else. Success vampires. So this is about maybe people taking away your time, your ideas, or draining your energy. As I said, some of you may be around people who are envious. Or sometimes when I see that Four of Pentacles, I think, oh, this could actually be somebody who's very, just not very giving and wanting you to be the giver. And also I was getting kind of Ace of Cups energy in reverse at one point. I wasn't here, but I saw it clairvoyantly. And I was feeling kind of like, also kind of with that Page of Cups, like there was actually a lack of inspiration. It could be, I'm kind of getting an older male energy. Okay. Or just, yeah, I am kind of getting that. I'm also getting somebody who's very, almost I get this kind of like just very domineering and like a person of like either authority, or they're just, they have a lot of like followers. Basically they have a lot of people that like kind of report to them. Maybe it's a boss or a leader or something that or it could also be on the world stage. But I am also getting a lot of influence about almost like spiritual beliefs, being connected to your, like maybe you're questioning your faith, or someone's questioning your faith or your loyalty. Or maybe you're wondering, have I been loyal to the wrong people or parties this whole time? There's something about that, because I am getting this sort of an overbearing, like an older male energy. I just, and they seem to be like very, I am getting that they're like religious too. Maybe you're dealing with something like, an institution that just feels very institutionalized, bureaucratic, political, stuff like that. So I am kind of getting that vibe. I was clairvoyantly seeing, what's interesting is they actually were showing me a figure sort of like this priest here kneeling down. But I was getting like this priest in sort of a white robe. I guess that's what they would be, a priest maybe, or just a religious figure who's like, their answer is always the same. It's like, give it over to, God or something. And it's like, but sometimes we need a little more than that for some of you. I'm not, this is not my personal belief. I'm not saying my personal beliefs. I'm saying what the energy is getting, that there are some of you who may be dealing with somebody right now who, they're always like, well, just pray about it. Like that. And there's something here about that may not work for everything, according to some of you out there. That's what I'm getting. That I feel there could be some of you out there that are looking for more than that, because there could be this like you're having faith for some, but then questioning faith at the same time. Does that make sense? So I am getting that, and where you're wondering almost like, have I put my eggs in the wrong basket, in a general sense, or have I really been on the wrong path this whole time? So I get that you're wanting to connect to your own higher mission, but that might be different than your family's, or than what you've been doing. Then it might be different than those around you. It might be different than if you're a churchgoer, what your church would say, right? It might be different, so there's something here about that. I'm getting an element of like, to conform or not to conform. That is the question. So I'm kind of getting that. Yeah. So what else do we have? Almost like if the Hermit and the Hierophant were like at odds. I kind of get that. And it's about your purpose, your mission, or your work. Okay. And work can be different things. It doesn't have to be a paying job earning money, right? Not all of us are doing this. Some of us are retired, etc. But yeah, so it's just that's pretty deep there. There's something there. And then we have fear of missing out. So so with the success vampires, I didn't really go into that. So this is about standing your ground because people could be taking away from you in some way. So this is about facing the success vampires head on and not letting them take from you, whether it's sticking up for yourself or setting better boundaries, letting them know you're taking back your power. Hey, that actually goes, I did not read this yet. And that goes really well with what I was being shown clairvoyantly. Okay. And that whole spiel I went on. Okay. So this fear of missing out. So stop wishing, do it. All right. So often wishing you are somewhere other than where you are right now. So this is that you haven't missed the boat. And I love this because my haven't missed the boat card is the 3 of Wands, and you have that. And I haven't pulled tons of tarot yet. Okay. So this is about you haven't missed the boat just because you're seeing others race around in their boats, right? We're all on different timelines. This is about what matters now is how you're going to move forward. And remember, it's never too late. All right. What else do we have, please? I'd like to get those success cards for entrepreneurs. All right. Oh, I know. It's Lana. I hear a name like Lana. All right. What else? What do we have, please? Success cards. Investor deck. All right. So card 17, star card, right? Which you had in your reading. So this says a wrong plan will not just damage your business. It will also damage your funds, resources, market reputations, time, and above all, your morale. That's an anonymous quote. And it says an investor deck is the new business plan. While unlikely to attract early funds outside family and friends, the feedback from early no's will point you out your weak spots and which metrics to optimize. So for this, the 3 questions to ask are, and if you're not sure what an investor deck is, look that up, obviously, right? But it says, are you minimizing text by sharing images and graphs to tell your story? Are there templates you can use? Can you access investor decks from successful companies similar to yours? Right? So, all right, let's see. Also, you have systematization. Okay, systematization. So I just want to, so an investor deck would be, my understanding is it would be a presentation to showcase your startup or something, okay, to attract potential investors. It's a presentation. It's very concise, and you're trying to convince people basically to fund whatever it is you're trying to do. So it's like a storyboard for your business. All right. So systematization card 82. Maybe the number 82 is pertinent in some way for you. It says the leader's role is to first see the wheels of the machine, then get those wheels turning with maximum efficiency, by Sam Carpenter of Work the System. So systems are everywhere. So inspect them across your business and your personal life. And think how to consistently ensure their efficiency, including fail safes, documentation, delegation, and automation. All right. So saving time and staying in distraction-free flow state are key. Approach the biggest opportunities first, but remember, most progress actually comes from many 1% improvements. For some of you, I feel like you already have received this advice elsewhere. I'm just feeling that intuitively. Those little improvements add up over time. Okay. So it's like, what are you doing yourself that someone else could do when it comes to systematization? What are you best at, and where can you spend your time most effectively? So which processes are most chaotic and require the most labor? And are your systems documented and accessible to ensure consistent execution? I know that's a lot, but if you break it all down, it does make sense. So here's the card again, if you want to look at it yourself. So for example, like some of you, if I use myself as an example, right? I'll give you a very practical example that will make sense. Okay. I have a tarot channel, right? And I had never had social media of any kind before this tarot channel. Social media is not my thing. I don't enjoy it otherwise, like other than this is what I do. My thing is like intuitive readings, connecting with people in some personable kind of way, teaching, and obviously like reading cards and things. So reading energy work. That's what I enjoy. That's what I'm good at. Helping people grow, heal, inspiring, that sort of thing. But if I wanted to grow tremendously, I would probably want someone to take over my Instagram account and some of the other, marketing things I could be doing, but I'm not because I personally don't want to be on social media all day. I don't like it. My neck hurts when I do it too. I don't want to be on a device all the time. That's not me. But if I handed that over to somebody else, where could it go? It could take me farther, right? So it's just considering, what it is you enjoy. There are going to be aspects of business that you don't enjoy, right? Having a business, like, do you want to be doing your own taxes for business? Or is that one area where you're like, you know what? It's such a headache. It stresses me out so much for like 2 months before they're even due. Like, I just want to hand that over to someone else. Or do you want to hand it over to like, software in some way? How can you make that easier on yourself? So whether it's, have it apply to your particular situation, right? So that was just one very basic practical example. I'd be happy to just go ahead and, I don't mind doing thumbnails. I like doing the readings. I like interacting with the people, but I don't want to be like, all up in social media all the time. I don't, even if it means then I'm not going to be some huge channel right away. Right. So that's just it. So sticking to what, yes, it's good to have an awareness, like I have an awareness of how social media works and the things to do, but I have no desire to really spend my time doing that. I'd rather be at this table with you. So yeah, that's just an example. All right, let's see what else we have. I would like to get some money and job cards here just to get a little more specifics. Some of you may have questions like what you can expect coming in as far as your, work, finances, money, job stuff, right? So let's get some cards. Some of you could, okay, so something that may need your attention now is watching out for that overspending. Maybe you just came to this reading and you're like, you know what? I've been spending way too much on tarot decks, crystals. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So overspending. I'm getting actually particularly like eating at home versus out too. Micromanaging. Some of you could be dealing with someone who's micromanaging you in some way, right? That could be an issue for you. And then we have new assets coming in though. Look at that nice white fancy sporty car, right? So that could be something some of you are looking into, a new vehicle. Looks like there's a Jeep in the background, so you could resonate with that as well. Not to say any brands here. I'm not connected to anybody, but let's see. What else? What else can Libras expect in the next month or so? Some of you are wanting to resign or retire. Some of you also will have a performance review coming up that you're either doing or you're part of in some way. We have changes here. Look at that with the blue butterfly. That's going to speak to a number of you. That blue butterfly right there, you'll know. I don't think I've ever seen this card in this deck. What else for Libras? Background check. That could be part of your hiring process. Either you're the hiring or the hiree. Hirer or hiree. And then we have unexpected expenses. Looks like there's something medical here. It also looks like there could be travel regarding medical care. And there's also selling. They're considering if they have something worth selling. Maybe you yourself are considering being an entrepreneur and you're selling something, and you're wanting to work from home. I am picking up on that too. All right, so that's coming in. And what else do we have? Let's get some fortune cookies. What else can we expect coming in? And these readings they're timeless, but I am doing it like kind of with the month of like May in general, May/June. So somewhere around there, this could really pertain to you if you found the reading then. All right. Okay. I found two things, Libra, while I was under the table. This card, which hit the floor, but I also found Temperance in reverse. Now, I wasn't even aware that was there. Somehow it fell out of the deck without my knowledge. And I'm going to ask, with Temperance in reverse, and since that was under at my feet without my knowledge, is there some sort of lack of harmony, excess, or imbalance, Libra, that you're unaware of or that you're not wanting to see or address? Okay, you'll know if that's you. So avoid going to extremes. Moderation's key. Self-control's key. Balance is key. Patience. And wherever you can bring in a little more harmony and a little less conflict or chaos or even disorganization, the better. Okay, we have intuition here. Trust your intuition. It's a great time to learn a new skill, change careers, or invest money. Okay. And what else for Libra? Achievement. Okay. We have achievement and we have positive work outcome. Okay. So achievement, enjoy. I should actually put these here. You can see them better. All right. So enjoy the limelight. You've earned it. Although on the family front, someone's health could cause some secret worries or sleepless nights. And go with your intuition on that. And if you need help or they need help, seek treatment, obviously, seek help, professional opinion. But we have positive work outcome here. This is good. This is good. Get back in the flow here. Consistent efforts will bring rewards, and a major purchase could be worth making. What else? If you enjoy this reading, please do me a favor. Just show support by liking the video, right? Like, hype, comment, become a member, subscribe, all the stuff. That'd be helpful. Thank you. Helps me know too if you enjoy these readings. Just in general, it's good for me to know, right? All right, so we have love life here. Affairs of the heart could cause future problems, but take heart as difficult conversations will be resolved by a good decision this week. All right, and anything else? One more maybe. Jealousy, yeah. Watch who you trust with your personal secrets and plans. You had the Four of Pentacles, keeping it close to the heart, right? So maybe not sharing everything with everyone. Spend time outdoors with nature to reconnect and replenish. And I peeked at the bottom and we have reflection. So this is friendships in your life could come to an end and others could blossom and become stronger. Now that could be something you're really reflecting on, right? You may have a jealous friend, it could be, or there could be something here with a romantic partner that's going to be taking center stage that somehow is affecting your ability to work or your resources in general, or you're spending a lot of time, with this particular person or on this energy. It could be a relationship kind of draining your energy. So all things to be mindful of, right? And to try to strike a better balance, okay? What else? Let's get some. I want to use, for our animal cards, I want to use the Wild Heart Animal Spirit, and I want to get some galactic angel numbers, or angel messages, I should say. So we'll do our galactic angel cards. Close out this reading in just a moment. Great. So we have past life memories could trigger your emotions, go within to heal. You need to pull back, retreat, recharge. And learn to trust yourself. Repeat message. So learn to trust yourself. You can accomplish great things if you choose to believe, Libra. I'm getting this like, have faith, you are protected. I am getting that too. And you have a chance encounter with one you love. So there's like two ships sailing in a night here. And it's okay to walk away and break a cycle. Follow your intuition. All right. What else do we have for Libra? Relax and cleanse with koala and eucalyptus. This is about cultivating serenity. Maybe once you walk away, you can do that. So this is purifying the space and doing some special self-care now. One flying off here is owl and moonflower. Owl and moonflower. This is about wisdom and cycles. You have this breaking cycles, right? And now you have owl and moonflower. So change is constant. Know that everything will pass in its own timing. It brings me right back to that emerging dawn card. Trusting every ending is another beginning coming in disguise. You had the death card followed by the sun, right? So you have transformation into the sun, leading to that Ace of Wands. Leading to what? An Ace of Wands would be new projects, fresh ideas, something you're going to want to grab onto, right? You're going to want to jump on this opportunity. What else? Bee and coneflower. So work and purpose being called into the forefront. So this is taking time to reflect on how your career is meaningful, doing what matters. Does it matter? Is it aligned to my personal purpose? Not what I've been taught or trained or told to do, but do I feel good about it? And then we have clarity and valor here. Everything in moderation with Hawk and Iris. This is clearing any confusion before you rush in, right? So that's what I have for you, Libra. I do hope this finds you well and resonated. You know how to show support if it did, and I'll see you in the next reading. Thank you so much. Take care.